are small, open sores found in the lining of the stomach, esophagus, and the upper part of the small intestine, which is called the duodenum. When stomach acid injures the stomach or duodenal lining, an open sore may develop. Pain increases as the acid irritates the mucosal layer and the tissues below.
Okay. Just listening to that right there, you might think that stomach acid is the #1 cause of ulcers. But if you've already looked, you found out it's what? You haven't looked yet? Okay. Well, nobody else did though, that's why I was. Yeah. H. pylori is one particular strain of bacterium that basically weakens the protective mucous membrane and then allows the acids to do their damage and so forth. But bacteria is actually the #1 cause of ulcers.
Where's it at?
I think it's Helicobacter. That's what the full name is. Just go H. pylori. That's the genus species name. Well, it could be either esophagus, stomach, or duodenum, but duodenum is most common. So all these antacid treatments and so forth for ulcers, they're not doing squat. They might be relieving symptoms for a short period of time, but they are doing nothing to actually heal. You have to take antibiotics to kill off the bacteria, and then the healing process will naturally follow that.
An upper GI series is a test to determine the presence of an ulcer and its location. Before the test, the patient drinks a liquid containing an X-ray blocking substance, which will show up on an X-ray image or radiograph. As the liquid passes through the intestinal tract, it collects in the ulcer. Then, radiographs can reveal the size and location of the peptic ulcer.
How that looks like an ulcer to anybody is beyond me, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they didn't show us the whole series of images here, and I'm thinking maybe if that is a true perforating ulcer, then over time we would see this chalky stuff come out into this area where it should never be. It should have gone straight on through the tube. And so I'm thinking that might be the first little protrusion, shall we say, of this barium material outside of the tube.
So, Mr. James, H. pylori is the #1 cause?
H. pylori.
Oh, lori. And then it happens in the stomach and it's treated with antibiotics?
Most often happens in the duodenum. We call them stomach ulcers, but it's most often actually in the duodenum.
Okay. Thank you.
So then the ulcers are like lesions and they actually weep out into the
Yep. You get out into the peritoneal cavity. Pylori. Alright, so now I need to show you a series of slide images, and we can use this kind of like a mock quiz, right? See how much of the content information you picked up while you were looking at your anatomy. So, don't be reading along in your pages, looking for the answers, see what you can recall. Things that you can't recall is your flag that says, hey, I need to study that a little bit deeper. Okay, so identify it as I point to it.
Stomach, liver, pancreas, spleen.
Very good. Okay. And I have 2 different secretions that come from the pancreas. What is each of them rich in? Bicarbonate ion. One is rich in bicarbonate ion, and the other is rich in
You're not supposed to look.
digestive enzymes. Okay, one is rich in bicarb. There's a purpose for that. One is rich in enzymes. Obviously, that's for the chemical breakdown of the material. Okay. And what liquid do I have in here? Okay. And in the stomach, there are 4 different secretions that I add to anything that I swallow. Mucus.
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid.
I don't know.
intrinsic factor,
Yeah. How'd you forget that? You were talking about
pepsinogen. Okay, and there's purposes for each of those. Make sure you know your functions of each of the secretions.
it.
So I add 4 secretions to the food and the water that I drank. I mix it all up, and I have a paste called
What is it called?
Chyme?
chyme.
Oh, yeah. That
Chyme. What
green
leaves your stomach is referred to as chyme.
chyme.
It's a mixture of what you ate and drank plus the secretions of the stomach having been mixed. Okay, so let me see if I can help you get the whole big picture here too. Is that you eat and swallow things typically just 3 or 4, maybe 5 times a day, and your stomach distends because of those rugae to hold those things, and then gradually over a period of hours it empties out over into the duodenum, small intestine, etc. Okay? So I'm emptying chyme from the stomach into the duodenum. And in order to get complete digestion through the small intestine and large intestine, I've got to add several things to the chyme, otherwise I'm not going to have a very impressive digestion. So I'm going to add bile from the gallbladder, and I'm going to add digestive enzymes from the pancreas, and I'm going to add bicarbonate solution from the pancreas. So what I need you to appreciate is that right here in your duodenum, those first 10 to 12 inches, you're mixing several things together. You're mixing chyme with bile, with bicarbonate, and digestive enzymes. And you need to mix that all together in the first few inches so that as it goes through the small intestine, we can let all these chemical processes be taking place where we're snipping and breaking bonds so that we can start absorbing things out of the tube. Does that make sense? All right. Awesome. Another image that comes up later, you can see the inside of the duodenum. There's a special feature in the duodenum that helps you mix everything together.